Good morning to you from our very handsome new studio. There's a huge and fascinating dilemma facing the country this winter. Do ministers listen to the increasingly desperate pleas for help from a big range of industries? Do they offer subsidies for pricey energy, let in more foreign workers in order to avoid queues, closures and shortages? Or do they hang tough, as the Prime Minister said he would last week, and force company bosses to pay higher wages here? Stick with the policy or flinch and then fold? Well, I'm joined live in the studio this morning by both sides of that argument, by the business minister who's been sitting down with the company bosses, Kwasi Kwarteng, and by the founder of one of Britain's big six energy companies, OVO's Stephen Fitzpatrick. Giving a Labour perspective on the world energy market, the Shadow Trade Secretary, Emily Thornberry. And we haven't even mentioned coronavirus yet. It's all over, isn't it? Maybe not. I'll be joined by Jenny Harris, the head of the UK Health Security Agency. And George Clooney's been telling me why he felt a very personal need to direct his new movie.
This was a really kind film.
It is.
It was gentle, and I needed that. And I felt like if I needed that, maybe other people might feel the same way.
Kind and gentle film, kind and gentle show. Reviewing the news, Sebastian Payne of the Financial Times and Minette Batters speaking on behalf of the farmers for the NFU. But first, the news headlines with Roger Johnson.
Andrew, thank you. Good morning. The Business Secretary, Kwasi Kwarteng, has defended the government's handling of the energy crisis. Several energy suppliers have described the price cap system for regulating household bills as not fit for purpose amid spiralling gas costs. But writing in today's Sunday Express, Mr Kwarteng said that it would remain in place to protect consumers. The French authorities are calling on the British government to honour its promise to pay them more than £50 million to help them to try to stop migrants crossing the Channel by boat. Hundreds of people have made the journey in the past 2 days, leading to further tensions between France and the UK. Lebanon's electricity grid has shut down, leaving the entire country without power for the second weekend. Officials say that it's unlikely that supplies will resume before Monday amid an ongoing economic crisis. The blackout began yesterday after the country's two largest power stations shut down due to a shortage of fuel. The variety of plant and animal life in the UK is so depleted that it could cause an ecological meltdown. Scientists at the Natural History Museum say that the UK only has 53% of its biodiversity left, ranking in the bottom 10% of all countries. The researchers say that the consequences could mean a future where nations are no longer able to produce enough energy, food or timber to meet the needs of their populations. And in boxing, Tyson Fury has knocked out Deontay Wilder to retain his title as the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. Fury knocked Wilder out in the 11th round of their bout in Las Vegas. That's it from me. The next news here on BBC One is at 1 o'clock. Back to you, Andrew.
Tyson Fury. What would happen if politicians had sort of names they'd made up to represent themselves?
Sam.
All right. Kwasi Kwarteng, thanks very much
Thank you
for coming in and talking to us. Thanks all my guests and, of course, to you for watching. I'll be back here in the news studio at the same time next week. But until then, goodbye.
Thank you.